Hello there, welcome to the channel, welcome back perhaps, and we're doing a nice little bit of midweek recording for ourselves here, and what we hope is a little bit of a treat for you as well. We're actually doing something vaguely topical for a change rather than focused on our own project. Once again, we have the Space Bender along with our contrabass clarinet loops, but the topical thing is the Dark Star, the original Dark Star. Recently I guess version 2, although it doesn't quite seem fair to call it that, an expanded version was released that featured the ability to do all three modes at once, essentially, and that made us think that maybe this would be an interesting thing to try after the Space Bender. Now, has to be said, I think I have a little bit of a hot take on the Dark Star. I don't think it's that amazing. I like it. I can see how it does some really great things, but the way that it is spoken about, and also the fact that it has been given this expanded version, suggests that there is a great deal of good feeling towards it. I certainly don't have any bad feeling, let me make that clear, but there's a few things about it that I find to be less than inspiring. One of which is the onset. I find that it seems to have a kind of a pre-delay built into the algorithm that is not something I really look for, and that is also a little bit of a disappointment, because I originally bought this when I was playing more of the regular clarinet through the pedals, and I was hoping that by, in this pitch mode, putting it down an octave, we could have some really lovely soundscapes. And yes, lovely soundscapes certainly possible, but the slow onset, or the slower onset, did somehow not give me what I wanted. I wanted something with a little bit more of an immediate response. The delay mode, I must admit, I find it difficult to see how it's particularly different texturally from the pitch mode in its most neutral phase. The crush, I think, is probably my favorite, and we will be using that, I think, a fair bit. But what I was thinking was, seen as the Space Bender is more of like a short delay when it's in ×10 mode, and kind of a flanger kind of thing in ×1 mode. This would be an interesting thing to try. Maybe the ×10 mode will give some kind of compensation for the slower onset of the Dark Star. Let's see. I have a few different things that I want to try in combination with them, but first of all, I do want to try and demonstrate some of the things with the Dark Star that I've spoken about. Also, I do think that it's only fair to say that as a non-guitarist, there could be things that are particularly appealing about this to guitarists that don't necessarily hold sway for contrabass clarinetists, or maybe horn players in general. The smooth sustain of the guitar I can see being nicely broken up by some of the things that the Dark Star does. maybe there's something to do. I mean, guitar players are so sensitive to the EQ of their instruments a lot of the time. Maybe the Darkstar adds things there, although, you know, I would say I've become much more sensitive to EQ working with the fuzz pedals. But what we are going to start with is our contrabass clarinet sample for the mid-range, which is the very top of the contrabass clarinet. So this is our sample, and once we've had a listen to that, we'll dive in with the Darkstar in a very neutral pitch setting. I mean, it's undeniably a very pretty sound. Let's stick it up a bit longer there. Can you hear what I mean about that offset? I know it's a pad reverb, but at the same time, I prefer a faster response, and I think that that's what I've gotten for myself with the way that I've been using the night sky. I mean, the way it diffuses is really lovely. And then, you know, if we put the pitch up. Yeah, I mean, it's like that's really quite stunning. But also it does have that kind of slightly tinny quality that you get with pitch shifting. It's undeniably atmospheric. But it's also got that grainy quality that that doesn't, to my mind, match with the unison octave so well. Yeah, it's undeniably very pretty. But certainly an effect that I think I could live without, you know. Let's have a bit of fun with, first of all, yeah, it's got some lovely overtones in it, undeniably. Yeah, I can see why guitarists would love this texture. It is a lovely texture. And let's do the whole one up, one down thing. Yeah, in some ways, I think it's like maybe like a thickening tool. You know, something that adds, like when you've got the sustain of something like a guitar, this is something that adds to that sustain, where like the way that I'm using it is much more as like a standalone effect, like with these short bursts of sound. Okay, well that's an interesting thought. One of my favorite effects of this mode is one pointed out in the pedal zone, where you can actually, if you get the pitch just about right, you can actually get like a flanging kind of effect. There we go. And we will be coming back to that for sure. I think that's probably one of my favorite effects that this pedal does. There we go. It's a lovely texture. Has to be a little bit further away. It's a very delicate thing. That's got a certain appeal to it. It's very subtle, but you can hear that flanging effect. Let's turn up the... Yeah. There we go. Okay. Very pretty. Let us put things back in a more of a neutral position and look at pitch mode. Now pitch mode, I've got the reverb turned all the way around. What I'm gonna do is, just to demonstrate what I mean about this, is I'm gonna turn it up to, like, I'll leave the repeats there, but we'll make it a nice big space between each of the repeats, and we want quite a few repeats. Okay, so here we are again, and we'll go full wet. Like, I'm not really hearing the delay lines so much there. Yeah, I don't know if it's just me, and the trouble is that then if, like, you know, if you start turning up the reverb and this, then it's like, you end up getting this self-oscillation. So like even the tiniest sound becomes something like this. Not to say that couldn't be useful, but it's more sensitive than I've been able to find a practical use for. In some ways, this is the most neutral sounding mode, but like I just don't find that the delay lines are adding anything that I particularly respond to. Again, could be me. Now the crush mode. Again with that pitch shifting in there, and let's keep it at I'll put it at a little bit of dry. And I was playing around before with some of my favorite positions for this, and so I mean that's just lovely. That denseness. And I mean that's not quite as useful, but like maybe if we bring this up. I mean it's an interesting addition. I mean again maybe this is the kind of thing that like a guitarist would see as a nice texture to add to their sustain. Maybe I will once I'm better at getting sustain from the contra clari. Lovely. And then when we put it up the octave, of course, I mean that's undeniably a really beautiful effect. So, especially if we extend that. Yeah, that's really beautiful. Octave up with some crushing, crushes it. Pun horribly intended. That's a lovely texture. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean that's the 3 modes of the dark star and my less than flattering, I guess, take on it. Again, I certainly don't hate it, and I hope that comes across. But what I'm really excited to do is see what we can add to the space bender using it, because we have the times 10 mode, and yeah, we can add some really interesting depth to the sound with this. So let's dive in with something nice and simple. Once again, because it's cold and it's nighttime, I have a hot water bottle with me, so if you hear sloshing sounds, it might be the hot water bottle, it might be the space bender. currently disengaged though. So, what we're going to do to start off with is something nice and simple, and just use the kind of chorusy tank reverb kind of vibe of the Space Bender. Stick with this sample for now, I think. But we will move on to another one relatively soon. That's more of a phasery kind of thing. There we go, that's the kind of thing I'm thinking. A little more, maybe. Yeah, that seems good to me. A bit more subtle than that. Okay. It's quite pleasant, that's really quite nice. Okay, now let's have a try at that phaser thing I was talking about before, where we actually will try and put the kind of like flangery, phasery kind of effect on the dark start pitch, and then more like a flangery kind of thing on the space bender. Okay, I think I am definitely starting to understand the dark star more from a guitarist's perspective, perhaps, in terms of like what it adds to sustain, like bringing that reverb all the way down there, and the mix really down, just gave it like it was like a background effect, in the same way that the space bender effect there was really quite subtle. Okay, so let's get that flanger effect going for us. There we go. Okay, turn that down just a little maybe, and get rid of that for now. And I believe our flanger is to be found here and here ish. Oh, it's got a lovely squish to it. And let's see now. Maybe we need a little bit more of the dark star in there to make that clear. It's such a subtle flanging effect though. It's there though. Yeah, that's quite obvious there. Yeah, very interesting. Let's switch over now to a different sample, and this is the whole range of the contra. I'll give you a quick listen to that, and then we'll dive in with the dark star and the space bender. So sub bass range. That's the mids. forgot to mention before. That's the bass. Okay. This is some really nice stuff. Because we've got the pitchiness of the flanger in the Space Bender contributing as well. It makes me think I would like to hear it without the flangeriness and just put that pitch up there. Yeah, that's something kind of special. Oof. Lowest note of the contrabass there. Yeah, I don't know, I think I preferred the octave contrast there. I am curious how it sounds an octave down. And this is the lowest note of the contra. Okay, I mean, I think it's hard to argue that that one with the octave up isn't something quite special there. And even with the flanger-esque kind of thing, the motion that it gives the reverb is lovely. Again, very finicky though. There we go. Okay. Well, that was fun. What I would like to explore now is using the space bender to compensate for the dark star's tendency to have a late onset or something of a pre-delay. And for that, let's get rid of the dark star. We're going to, I think, turn that off. We're going to go to times 10 mode. And we're going to just see how this sounds. Yeah, I think we want more. Yeah, a little bit too much. Yeah, let's see how it is a little bit further down. It's got a nice, very like string-like quality to it. Yeah, we're going to stick with that kind of thing. I think it's just the little bit of depth there that's giving it that drawn string kind of quality. Okay, and let's put it into the delay mode there, and yeah, that should be fine as it is. And let's see how this sounds. Yeah, I mean, I think that definitely does what I would like it to do. Let's try with just the mix a little bit. I see I got a much better sense of the reverb that time. Sorry, the delay, I should say. Let's try without the space bender for a second. Okay, I guess I can feel like the waviness of this mode, but not all the time either, though. Okay. I think the rhythmicness of the space bender brings out the rhythmicness of the Dark Star a little bit more here, perhaps. Okay, I'm curious. I want to take this back to the pitch mode, and we'll see how this compensates for the kind of pre-delay that the Dark Star has in that mode as well. That's very nice. Without the space bender. And then with the space bender. Yeah, I just find that way more interesting as like a growth of the sound from the initial stimulus, in this case the sample. Okay, now this is going pretty long, but there are two more things that we want to try. One of them is to have the space bender going into the bit crushing mode, and let's start with the idea for the space bender, because let's make sure. Okay, pitch as is, we'll put it there because we know that we like that general spot. That there, and yeah, okay, that's all looking good. But for the space bender, we wanted something, I think, in the ×1 mode. Let's noodle around a bit and see what we come up with. Not what we're looking for this time. getting into that phaser territory again now, or sorry, more like flanger phaser kind of. This kind of thing, I think. I mean, it's certainly not an octave up. But it's like an overtone twisting there. Okay, let's see how that sounds. I mean, that's just glorious, I think. Yeah, so the Space Bender doesn't give much in terms of sustain there, but the way that the kind of like overtone crunchiness that we've added there, the way that the bit crusher complements that is really lovely. Yeah, I think I'm definitely understanding the Dark Star better as not so much a reverb as like an adder of texture. So, one more thing that I wanted to try with the Space Bender was to go full wild with it. We probably won't be doing much with the envelope today. Maybe not quite that wild. Yeah, let's just stick it all the way up. No, I'm not going to resist this. Yeah, that's really lovely. Now, I am going to go full tilt with the Space Bender, and we're going to take it back to pitch mode. And one more time we'll hear the Space Bender. We'll see the pitchiness of this now. That's actually really rather pleasant. I'm not going to say it's softening the effect of the Space Bender, but it's certainly embracing it. And let's see what we get from the delay mode, if anything. I do hear that more with this kind of effect, especially like with the fast waviness of the Space Bender. I think it's easy to hear the waviness that the delay brings to the Dark Star. There we go. Like a slower, longer thing. Let's go full. Let's hear it sounds completely wet. Yeah. I think I preferred it without the intensity. Okay, I think that I think I found a decent use for this mode, which I didn't have before, which is nice. Let's see if we can make it slow. Okay, yeah. I'm somewhat more on board there. Let us finish with the bit crushing though, because I want to hear this on full. We'll maybe even bring back in the intensity with our favourite feature. Yeah, I don't think we need the octave there. Ooh, that's nice. That very gritty. There we go, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's lovely. Okay, let's do a full sample of that. Space Bender at its most intense there, into the Dark Star. But I do feel that we've been able to find some really nice subtle things in there as well today. And I definitely think I've understood the Dark Star better than previously. Personally, I don't think I need to invest in the expanded version. What I would much prefer is an expanded version of the Dweller with some presets on there. I'm sure they could find some other features to chuck in there, maybe some different waveforms. I'm a way bigger fan of the Dweller than I am of the Dark Star. So maybe we'll be seeing one of those at some point. That would be very nice. But still, certainly do not regret owning one of these. Thank you very much for sticking around, assuming that you've stuck around this far. I hope this has been as interesting and enjoyable for you as it has been for us. That has been some really nice exploration there. Well, hopefully we'll be having more videos coming along soon. We do plan to get the Dweller in here next after the Space Bender, see what we can come up with there, and add some fuzz in as well. And this, of course, is all while we're also getting our pedal board together, which we're very excited to have completed sometime, hopefully before the new year. So, in the meantime though, stay well and take care.